nail artist, if you enjoy Draw and Paint with Juree Gray on YouTube and you would like to show your support, you can find Cash App and Venmo information below. This channel is free to watch and learn from. If you like any of my art products, please go to mpbimage.com to purchase. If you purchase, make sure you leave a comment so my product maker know that you've purchased from the YouTube link. Then they're meant to, you're supposed to move from gesture to sustained gesture to modifying the drawing to a line construction. So linear structure is something I'm going to do my best to go over. Once again, probably week 3. But for our actual sustained gesture, once again, we're starting back with our image that's here. We have to start back with using our pencil. And we want to make sure we are getting down our envelope shape. Typically, by now, most of the time, students are they probably know their envelope shape by heart. So I'm going to start with getting my envelope shape down. So if you're looking at my paper and you're just like, I can barely see what you are doing, Drury, it's because the envelope shape, it's supposed to be a very light lined um, envelope. So we're not supposed to come in extremely dark with this envelope because once again, the whole goal is um, you're supposed to build on top. So we have to organize our line types to help us with building. So your envelope shape is supposed to be thin, light lines. That way you can see it, but possibly a camera or somebody else cannot see it, or it's more of a ghost. So from here, we're going to line gesture all of our objects in. So I'm just going to quickly line gesture. Once again, I'm starting very light with this gesture drawing. I just want to make sure that I'm thinking about very simple shapes in our forms. I want to make sure I'm thinking about space as well. So I want to make sure I have space in between for my cube. I want to think about where my cube is placed in relationship to my cylinder. Height, I need it to be a bit taller in height to my sphere. So I'm quickly just doing my best to get it down so I can see my overall composition. That's the whole point. So this is the start of every drawing. You want to make sure that you're placing your composition within your picture plane. You're thinking about the spacing of your composition and that you can see it right away. So from here, we have to sustain it. So when it comes to sustaining it, once again, let's clearly think about it as a gesture. So that means that we're not going to get fully accurate when it comes to this drawing. So I'm just going to come in with a darker line. And I want to make sure that I am doing my best to get a circle down. So there is going to be a time when I'm going to teach you guys how to draw a circle accurately. Right now, I just want to make sure I'm just modifying and or sustaining my gesture to the best of my ability. I do want to make sure I'm looking at my photo, because my photo has all the information my gesture nor my brain do. So I always want to make sure I'm paying attention to my photo. If you're looking at what I'm doing, I'm using straight line segments because I could always curve out a straight line um, later. Right now, I just want to make sure I'm getting an idea of what this circle is going to look like before committing to an actual curved line because I have room to adjust it. Once I have this down, I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to move to the next object. I want to make sure I'm doing my best to think about spacing in between my cube and also my sphere. So I'm going to move this line a little bit closer to my sphere because in the photo, that's where I see the two. I just see it a little bit closer. And then I'm going to move this corner over just a bit because I just want to make sure I'm drawing this as accurate that I possibly can. So I'm just moving the line over just a little bit. I have issues with angles, so you'll see me use my pencil to get the proper angle. And then also I'm going to talk about intuitive perspective, later on uh, in the mini session. So I'm extending out just a little bit of my envelope shape. And the only reason why, because this cube just looks a little bit, it goes into depth a little further than what I have it for my envelope shape. So I'm popping out of my envelope shape just a bit, and that's definitely okay to do. If you're popping out a great deal of your envelope shape, that just means that something didn't 100% go right when you started to produce your envelope shape. So I'm drawing this line up just a little bit because I want to make sure I'm flattening out the top plane of this cube in space. And I just want to make sure I am getting angles. So I'm extending my lines out because I want to make sure that my top plane, these lines aren't parallel to each other. They need to kind of converge to some type of vanishing point. And sometimes extending them out definitely does help with that. So now that I have an idea for my cube, once again, I'm going to move on to the next object. Because this is a gesture, um, I'm not going to fiddle or worry too much about proportions today, right? I am going to do my best to make sure I am drawing through because I want to make sure the end of my cylinder is close to the end of my cube, or at least the bottom line of my cube. So I'm just making little notes for myself. So when I'm connecting my cylinder, I want to make sure that I'm getting the proper gesture or construction of my gesture as accurate as I can. So also, I'm just going to do my best to. I have a colleague she used to always say, make a smiley face at the bottom because technically our ellipses are more open at the bottom and more flattened at the top. And we see that in our photo as well. So I'm just going to gesture in an idea for the top ellipse because I do see it very flat. So gesture that in. So now that I have this down, once again, it is a gesture. I could come in and I could start to clean up my lines just a bit, maybe curve out my circle to the best of my ability. Once again, I am going to talk about how to draw a circle accurately for you guys. It's just right now, I just don't want to overwhelm you with too much at one time. So I'm just connecting those straight lines and I'm curving out those lines. So this is my sustained gesture. It did not take me that long. I was pretty much talking through it. So if I wanted to, if I was a student and this wasn't a demo, I can continue to work out getting my line work just a little bit more accurate and start to clean up my line work as well. Are there any questions about what a sustained gesture is and what you need to do for this exercise? All right, if there's no question, we have the remainder of the class period to get this drawing done. Once again, you want to come in with an envelope shape. Then you want to line gesture all of your objects in. Then you want to do your best to correct your drawing to the best of your ability so you can sustain it. All right.